cherry float Coca-Cola. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the corner. I am the DM as always, and today I want to cover this TFT dramas. For you, those of you that don't know, which I highly doubt anyone who's going to be watching my videos don't already know, um, this whole drama is about the Forbidden Trove Discord, and how it just kind of imploded, so to say. All right, so I'm gonna try and get through this semi quickly, at least this opener, because there's there are things. Anyways, getting through this super quick. So for you, those of you that don't know, Janimbu has been banned permanently from Path of Exile 2. Or not Path of Exile 2, from Path of Exile. GGG banned them. Um, we don't really know why, but the implications, or at least I don't, but the implication is that he was real world trading, which is straight up against terms of service, which you agree to when you first create your account, right? This rule has been enforced across the board equally to everyone who gets caught doing it. Okay. And it is a permanent ban, and there are no appeals allowed for it. This has been the case since forever. This has always been the case, and this will never, more likely than not, never change. And I hope it never does. Okay. Now, the reason we have Jazzerus's video up, I'm not reacting to his video. Okay, let's just put that out there. But his video will be in the link, will be in the description. But it's because of this channel, and the fact that it's been deleted by Janimbu, and there's been a few other things that we'll get to here in a moment. Okay, but basically, in this, he's like, I want to address things. I got banned playing this sympathy card. Okay, so he's like, I'm sure many people are happy that I got banned, and that he's not liked by everyone. So here's the first thing, where he said that I built free tools for everyone to use, and as an individual, uh, or I think he meant to put, I built a shop to service mirror items. Now here's the thing. Um, the motherfucker definitely didn't build shit. Okay, so this is a screenshot from the previous moderators, the previous staff team. Okay, so where he says that I helped the PoE community more than you did, that's for sure. Rat says you just broke one of the most used tools. Well played. Which part of these tools you built? I can tell you which ones I built, and then he's corrected. Claude built. And he's like, "Did you make the vouching system in 2020? Ah, sorry, you didn't even know what the server is." And he's like, "You made it?" Gabe said, "I was here." And then Toothy's like, "As far as I know, you built no tools for the community that would touch anything besides the shop." Okay, so already we've got him in a lie immediately, where he's saying that he built free tools, but literally didn't. And now he's saying I managed all of it. I asked tools to be built, which is significantly different than building them your fucking self. Okay. Rat correctly points out here, managed does not equal made. And then he said, how to be built, but I made it happen, did you? And so already within his first fucking post, he's just fucking straight up lying here. Okay. Um, the implications of my ban are massive in terms of how many people it affects. I can't even begin to describe it and how many people it affects. So here's the thing, okay? The implications that he is banned don't mean fucking jack shit. Okay, it doesn't affect anyone but himself. Now, allegedly, his account was worth like over $1 million or some shit like that. Like, allegedly, he had like tens of thousands of mirrors or some bullshit. I don't really fucking care how much his account was worth, because his account is now worth nothing because it's fucking banned. Okay. The only way this affects literally anyone but him is if he implodes and deletes all of the channels. Okay. That's the only way it does. And it just so happens, okay, that someone caught him doing this like caught him and recorded him literally removing every single channel and deleting every single fucking channel in the entire Discord server. So we know for a fact that the only reason this affects literally anyone else is because he decided to go on a fucking rampage because wah wah boo hoo, I got caught breaking the one rule that would result in an unappealable permaban, and I'm gonna throw a fucking temper tantrum about it. Okay. He's literally deleting every single role, every single channel, and it's being caught right here. Okay. So there's literally no way that he can disprove this. There's literally no way that he can back out of this. It's literally his fault that this server imploded entirely on him. Okay. Now, he said that he's in the worst possible mental state he could be right now, and I really hope this message can reach someone at GGG to overthink it. I don't know why he's hoping that this message reaches someone and then they can overthink his message, because so far, to anyone who was there at the time, this just reads like him throwing a fucking temper tantrum because his account got banned because he broke the one unappealable fucking rule of the game that he agreed to when he made his fucking account. Okay. Why do it? Why destroy so much? That's a good question. Why do it, Janimbu? Why destroy so much? Why fucking get your account banned permanently? It just doesn't make sense. This is a 700K people server dedicated for this game, and my account hosts more than 1,500 items, some of which can't ever be recreated. This permanently destroys PoE 1 standard and this server. Here's the thing, no, it doesn't. Okay, you're gonna see what else he goes, and I'm gonna start like kind of paraphrasing here, but you're gonna be able to see, and if you already read this, then you already know that the only reason that this does anything to the server is because he's throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Okay, this doesn't destroy PoE 1 standard league. Okay, fucking you, one person, are not all of fucking standard. Okay, as you say, there's over 700,000 people in this fucking server. There, you don't just like run PoE 1 Standard League. You don't, Jinimu. You're not the fucking community. If you didn't make the server, someone else would have. If you delete this server, someone else will just bring one up to replace it. In fact, there's already one called ARPG Vault, which literally has channels dedicated to Path of Exile 1. So you're just fucking wrong. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Then he goes on to say that the server and shop is his life. He's a clinically depressed person. That's your own fucking issues. Don't try to fucking shove that. Here's the thing: when you just bring your trauma and shit into this, and I'm not saying that like, oh, you're depressed, just get over. No, I understand. Depression is a fucking bitch. Okay, but don't try to use that as a fucking shield, as a fucking crutch. Fuck you for doing that. And fuck anyone who tries to use this as a shield and a crutch for their fucking asinine, childish ass fucking behavior. And he's like, he put 8 years of his life into this, and it's all gone just like that. Yes, it's all gone just like that. You broke the one fucking unappealable rule. Don't fucking real world trade. GGG, of all the companies to test this kind of thing with, you did it with GGG. Okay. Now, if you do it with like Jagex in like RuneScape or World of Warcraft or other games like that, you might get away with it. But you're not getting away with it with GGG. GGG is known for banning regularly people who real world trade. The only reason it's still there is because the game is free to play, and even if it wasn't free to play, it would still be there. See Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. Okay, it's a very lucrative business. Then he says, put yourself in my shoes, blah, 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 blah. Again, victim, playing the victim card. Okay. No one at GGG is going to reconsider your ban. It's a permanent ban. It's like one of the only fucking rules that they have that's unappealable. Okay. And he says that he's only gotten really cold responses. No, you've gotten PR responses. I guarantee it. Because that's how All companies respond to these kind of things is with PR, with fucking PR statements. Every single one of them does this, okay? So it's not cold, okay? Again, just playing the fucking victim. He says that the future of the server depends on whether or not he's gonna, whether or not he's unbanned. He's saying that, this will be the death, this will bring death to Path of Exile. His ban will single-handedly kill Path of Exile. No, it won't. Okay. You're fucking. Oh my God. And then this is where it really gets fucking stupid because he says this isn't about the rules, it's about the big picture. No, it's about the fucking rules. Because if it wasn't about the fucking rules, you wouldn't have been fucking banned, you fucking numpty. Holy shit. He goes on to say, despite people disliking him, everything he's done doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, it means fucking nothing because you broke the rules, as I've said plenty of times. He spends so many hours per day, blah 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 blah. Right? A lot of fucking victim blaming. Anyways, that's a lot of what this fucking shit is. I don't want to spend more than I didn't even really want to spend this long on it, but here we are. Okay, so someone else. Okay, so the server has been like taken over, but not really, by this guy named Brian. Okay, and this dude um, DM'd him. You don't see what's before this, but unless he has the ability, unless he just doesn't have the ability, it is going to happen. Quote, I would never nuke the server. I would never hurt myself. And then nukes the server less than 12 hours later, talking about Jinimbu. This is a real quote. I don't have like any fucking evidence for this, but I've seen this quote. I just didn't screenshot it when I saw it. He said, "LOL, it's hilarious." Anywho, good luck with that uphill battle. Hopefully, any time and effort you put forth isn't a total waste. The odds aren't looking good though. So overall, like kind of, neutral, like kind of wishing him the best, but being kind of like realistic that like it's a pretty harsh uphill battle. And then he says, seems to be going well, LOL, because he actually, here, let me get this on screen. Hang on. So as you can see right here, he said that he's locking down it because, quote, nothing productive is occurring here, even though this is the global chat meant for just kind of whatever, right? And he says posting in other channels with the intent to be disruptive is going to be met with a ban. And we'll get to this here in a moment. But if we look at, oh, I guess I have to, hang on. Oh wait, can I not? Hang on. What the fuck? So he disabled the ability to search by user. So normally you should be able to do this and then type in a user's name and be able to search for them specifically here. I'll go to another server. Hang on. In fact, I'll just go over to the ARPG fault. Okay, so no, I just can't do it here. What the fuck is going on? Hang on. All right, I just had to turn off streamer mode. So anyways, yeah. So if we search by this guy, okay, and we go all the way, um, okay, that's not. I need to be specific. From Ryan. Why can't I? Okay. So, I just want to point something out. Okay. So he says right up here, right at the very when he first creates this channel, he says that he's going to open it shortly. Please do not review. And then he tells you to check the server rules. Right? So if you go to the server rules, this is the fucking server rules. Okay. Now you can see down here that I don't have permission to send messages in this channel. This is important because um, if you don't have the ability to see previous, like see the message history in a channel, you will be told that right here, right? That also usually only applies when you are new to the server. But I've been in the server for over a year now, so that wouldn't apply to me. But we can see right here that there are no rules. They just don't have any rules. So he tells people to go and check the rules that don't exist. Okay. They just straight up don't exist. Now, all right, so here, as I said before, he locked it, and then he said he's going to reopen it if it gets too hot, going to close again. Please understand, and I'll clarify more tomorrow. Your viewpoints and opinions are not an issue here. Admittedly, some of you have legitimately valid concerns. However, this isn't licensed for disruption. Although I'd prefer this was just all PoE chat. I know it won't be for a little bit. I would love it if everyone just got their venting out and we just move on from this smartly and productively. That is what I'm after, and I won't be swayed away from that mission. So here's the issue with this statement, okay? It creates the Barbara Streisand effect. Um, because you are telling people not to do something, and by our nature, humans will then want to do it. Think about it from a child's perspective. Okay, so if you tell a child that they cannot have a candy bar, what is that child then going to want to do? That child is going to want that candy bar. He's going to scream, or they are going to scream and throw a fit and be a child about it, right? The Barbara Streisand effect. Okay, I forget the specific details, but I think it was like uh, their house had got their like address had gotten leaked online or something like that, and they wanted to get it. They tried to remove it from the internet. But because they tried so hard and publicly to get it removed from the internet, it ended up staying on the internet and became known as the Barbara Streisand effect, where basically the more you tell someone not to do something on the internet, the more it's going to get done. So by you going and saying that you don't want people to do this, it's going to happen even more. Additionally, this is Discord. Okay, I'm a part of multiple Discords. Um, Whenever you have a channel that is meant for one thing, it will inevitably degrade and devolve into talking about just random bullshit. Okay? It happens in every fucking Discord. You are not going to be able to stop it. Okay? It's just, I mean, look at the fucking game, okay? You go to the global chat and you have people talking about fucking Diablo, about Last Epoch, about other games, about real life events, okay? About Donald Trump and shit, okay? You have this everywhere. Twitter, fucking Facebook, on fucking forums back in the day. Every single fucking multiplayer game, okay? Any game that has a method for you, or any place that has a method for you to communicate, no matter what you want it to be for, it will inevitably devolve into just random bullshit. This is just always going to happen. Okay. Now, the main reason I'm making this video in the first place is because I find all of this insanely fucking suspicious. Okay. So first we have Jinimbu saying that he would never nuke the server, and then he goes and nukes the server. Okay. We have Brian, who, if we go up here, okay, we have all of this from Jinimbu. Okay. Oh look, it's actually everything. Hang on. I don't know about how much of this specifically is uh still the same. Looks like most of it. Okay, so here's another thing. Okay, this has been heavily redacted. There used to be a part here, which was deleted, and you can tell that because there's a double space here which he didn't delete, and the entire rest of every single post he makes, it's only a single fucking it's only a single space. So you could tell that there was something here that was deleted, which is very, very interesting. And the reason why it's interesting, okay, is because he says, I think it's right here. Hang on, let me find it. Yeah, so right here, he says that the previous management started pinging him in various rooms and mass deleting rooms. But as we saw in this, it was Jinimbu himself who deleted every single role and every single channel in the entire server. Okay, so he's just straight up lying here as well. Okay. Um, and then he says, anyone who wants an unbanned, please DM me or add me to your friends. The server starts over. There are no more bans. There have already been people banned. And then also right here, he says that if you want to be unbanned, you have to DM him or add him as a friend if you want to be unbanned, despite then immediately saying that there are no more bans. Now, obviously, this means that like what he's saying here is like everyone who's been previously banned, it's been wiped out, right? That's what he's saying here. But the way he phrases it makes it seem like something completely different. Okay. Then he says, whoever manages the server won't be me. I want someone who is overwhelmingly liked by the community to run it, or at least the best candidate in the same format it was, just better. Okay. So, first off, I don't know who the fuck this Brian guy is. Okay. And we'll get to all this because I don't think he is either of these personally. But then he says, services will return, just give some time. Server is not dead. Yet up here, I'm actually glad that this is it. Let's see. So he says the server isn't dead, right? But we'll just go back over here, right? He says the server isn't dead, and yet right over here, he says this permanently destroys the server, his ban, right? So the server's not dead, but it is dead. It is destroyed by his own admission. Okay. So also the reason why I brought this up, okay, to get to that, what he had here was him admitting that it was him that deleted the rooms, like deleted all the channels and everything, and then he came back and removed this. Okay, so this was posted at 7:13. This was edited. Okay, so this was posted yesterday on April 4th at 7:13 a.m. This was edited April 1st, 5:40 p.m. Likely because people were pointing out the fact that he admitted to deleting him and then also said that it was. Then he also tried to blame his management. Um, Now, getting down to Brian, okay, this is where things start to get suspicious, okay? So, he starts by saying that, starting today, that he'll be riding the ship and restarting it as a force for good in the PoE community. Janimbu has entrusted us, okay, um, with this important task as he steps away from the day to day here. So we're gonna mark this as unread right here, right? And then we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna look something real quick. As I was looking at this is really funny. He says he's gonna leave it open subject to server rules. There's still no server rules, so that's funny. So this is also something I want to, again, we'll get to the thing. I want to put this here for posterity's sake. He says that it's not going to die again, and he's going to be constantly snapshotting the state of the server and all data so that it will be easy to restore. So keep this in mind for the next time the fucking server gets nuked by this dude. That he claims that he's constantly snapshotting so he can be restored. So keep this in mind. So here's what I was getting to. So he says us, right? But he said right here that he needs to get some work done, and we have no mods. So who is us? If you have no mods, no other staff, who is us? Right? Like that doesn't make any sense. It makes even less sense when you look at the fact that there's this guy who is also part of the community managers. So obviously you do. Anyways, okay. So this mysterious us, even though it's only him apparently, and we're going to fulfill it because we believe in Path of Exile and the community around it. But remember, according to Janimbu, his ban will kill the game. According to Janimbu's own words, okay? Then he goes on to say that it's a little bit about himself. He is an avid Path of Exile gamer and a professional software developer. Why does this matter? Why are you saying this? No one fucking cares that you're a professional software developer, okay? Software development has nothing to do with running a server. It has nothing to do with Path of Exile. Okay. So He says here that he is not a prominent Path of Exile figure, and I have absolutely no agenda aside from restarting this server with all the positives and none of the negatives and putting it on the path of sustainability. So he's not wanting to put it on the path of like making this server amazing and a force for the Path of Exile community. He wants to put it on the path of sustainability, which this is the kind of talk that marketing execs use. That sustainability. It's all about sustainability, okay? Things will be different here in a positive way. All server decisions will be in the best interest of the PoE community and nothing else. The former management slash moderation team that was at least partly responsible for previous moderation issues will not be invited back. So the former team that was at least partly responsible, not just like any that had anything to do with it. No, they have to be at least partly responsible for previous moderation issues. Here's the thing, it's the entire previous fucking moderation team. If none of them said anything during their time publicly about the issues ongoing, they are part of the problem because they did nothing to try and change it. Okay? They did nothing. So they are part of the problem. They didn't quit, so they are still part of the problem. Okay? If you did nothing to try and change it, you are part of the problem. So new passionate community members will be invited into the fold to help make this place the best it can be. Okay, so I just want to pause here. Okay, so he says right up here that he is not a prominent Path of Exile figure at all. Okay, and up here, he said, Janimbu says he wants someone who is overwhelmingly liked by the community or at least the best candidate. Okay. Someone who boasts to be a professional software developer while also boasting that they are not a prominent Path of Exile figure is neither someone who is overwhelmingly liked by the community nor the best candidate. This is just the start of why this is incredibly fucking suspicious that this random person was chosen. Another thing before we continue, if we look at his profile, he's been a part of the fucking server since 2020. He's been a part of it for 6 years. Okay, so I don't believe that he wasn't part of the previous moderation team. I don't know if he was because all of the logs have been deleted, but I don't think that he wasn't a part of it. Okay. So he says there are a lot of things that are coming, many details to follow, but some of the stuff that is happening immediately. Mass unbannings, not unbanning of everyone, just a mass unbanning. Okay. The server will start with a clean slate. We'll update everyone when this is complete, so please invite your friends back. Restoration of core Path of Exile channels. Okay. And to that, he has at least recreated, he hasn't restored shit. Okay, you can restore deleted channels, by the way, but that's not what they did. Okay, they created new channels. Okay, so they didn't restore shit. And then restoration of vouchers and reputation as best as reasonably possible given the circumstances. Now, I don't believe this at all either because of the aforementioned reasons of him not being prominent, path of sustainability, software developer. Okay. Also, he's not the server owner. The server ownership was never transferred. Janimbu is still the owner of the server. And yes, you can transfer ownership of a server. Okay. Um, He says, thanks for all the DMs. He clearly locked his DMs after this because I tried to DM him about the fact that the server rules are completely fucking empty, but I couldn't. So then down here, this is where it gets extremely suspicious. Okay, why should I trust you? Now, you would expect for someone who is not a prominent member, is has like no credentials in server administration, has no interest in making sure that this server is on a path of like gaining and establishing and gaining community trust and whatnot, you would expect him to say something about his background, like some actual genuine details about his background, some information, some more actual information about who he is as a person. But what he does is he says, "You should trust me because." Okay, and this is very important. Whenever you say because in something, for human psychology, when you add because, it adds a layer of reliability to what you are about to say. Okay, he claims to be impartial and indifferent and not connected in any way to the previous TFT team in any way. I don't believe this because we have no proof or no logs, no evidence to validate that he has no affiliation with them. He claimed that he was not a former mod. And then he says, "What I do have is a deep, uh, what I do have is deep Path of Exile software development." And now he claims server management expertise. Okay. But remember, he is not a prominent member in the Path of Exile community. And now this server management expertise is coming out of nowhere. He did not mention this up here when he was talking, when he was giving a little bit about himself, only that he was a professional software developer. Okay, and we'll get to his development here in a moment, his software development in a moment. Okay. And then the exact three things necessary to make this place a success. How is software? He doesn't give any explanation as to why having expertise in software development is necessary to make this place a success. Um, and says, "Please be patient and at least give it a chance." Why do we have to be patient when you're like, "Why should I trust you?" Okay. This entire response basically boils down to, "Trust me, bro. You can trust me." Okay. Um, so he says, "Everyone has already been unbanned. This has been edited. This used to say basically eventually TM." Then it says, how can I help it? We're starting from scratch and there will be many opportunities for this. Myself or Jim will put out more guidance in time." So now we have something about Jim. Who is Jim? We don't fucking know. We don't know. Remember, there is no moderation team, but according to him up here, there is entrusted to us. So now we can assume that the us is him and whoever this Jim person is, who, for all intents and purposes, doesn't actually fucking exist. Um, this is just kind of like fucking weird behavior. Will I get my roles? Will I get back my roles? As best as possible, yes. Vouches will be applied retroactively according to the role you currently have. Where are all the channels? Why can't I type? Channel access is opening up slowly. Please be patient. And are you Jinimbu? No. And the reason why is because a lot of people are suspecting that this is just Jinimbu on an alt account. Now, allegedly he's going to be addressing all this like tomorrow or something because he has this right where he's going to be answering them. I assume this is going to be in a voice chat. I hope it is, because if it is, I hope we also have audio logs of Janimbu talking, so that way we can fucking cross-reference this shit. If it's not in a voice channel, personally I'm going to find that even more fucking suspicious. Okay. So that's that. Okay, I thumbs down this. You can see already this is getting like heavily fucking ratioed. If we pull up a calculator real quick, okay, um, we just pull up this calculator. We can do this, okay, and then minus 2887. That means there's only 800, there's an 830 difference if we combine both hearts and likes. Now, if we just go by thumbs up and thumbs down, this dude is getting fucking ratioed to hell. This guy, like, there are significantly more thumbs down because this is just a fucking bullshit statement that like doesn't tell you fucking anything. Okay, he has deep Path of Exile expertise, but isn't a prominent member. That already is like fucking hella fucking sus to me. Now, now, if we look through his messages, right? We can see he's doing a live stage tomorrow talking about the event. Maybe attend. I'll tell you all about myself and you can decide if I'm really Jinimbu. So this is what makes me that's what leads me to believe that it's going to be a voice chat, right, with him. Now I've got a lot of questions myself. So I'm going to try and be here and I'm going to fucking you can bet your ass I'm recording the whole fucking thing. And you can try and stop me. You're not going to. I promise you. You're not going to stop me. Um, Now, here we can see he says he posted a profile above with some info removed. I don't feel comfortable giving a link right now, given the current sentiment. I kind of understand this. Okay. If we go to here, right? Let me just kind of scroll up. Hang on. So here it is. Okay, he redacted like his character names and whatnot. I can kind of understand this, right? Because like he doesn't want people like fucking DMing him in game and like sending him like messages in game, death threats and whatnot. So I can kind of understand this. But also like this, it kind of narrows it all down. Anyways, um, so So here's something else that's kind of weird. So he says that there's a mod team being assembled right now, but then up here he says that he is actively developing automated moderation. Now this might be why he's like, oh, this is why having software engineering expertise is useful. There are dozens of auto moderation tools. I have some on my server. I've seen them in other servers. There are a ton that you can just get that are free, that are way better than anything you're going to fucking make. I promise you. Why? Because they've been getting developed for fucking years, if not over a decade at this point. Okay. This is another thing that I find incredibly suspicious. Okay. He talks about the bot should have deleted it. It didn't. So I don't know what bot he's talking about since he doesn't start developing the bot until like 2.5 hours later or whatever, like 2 hours later. But then he says no need to itemize rules that AutoMod takes care of. No, no, there are reasons to itemize these rules. If the rules are not itemized, who the fuck can actually tell what they are? Who's to say that you're not just enacting your own fucking will on a fucking whim? This is another reason why you developing the automata is just really fucking suspicious. Because then you could just tell it to fucking do whatever it is that you want. You can make it so no one else has any kind of control over it. And then what are we going to do about it? Right? Like this is why this doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is why you don't like th- this is basically you policing yourself. This is the equivalent of a police station getting in legal trouble for breaking the law, investigating itself, and saying, "We did our investigation, and there we found that there is no laws being broken." Like that's what this is the equivalent of. This is why you have a fucking clown emoji. Two of them now. Um, this is something I think we already covered, but this is like in the essence of transparency and free exchange of ideas. Um, okay, but where are the fucking server rules? Like they still don't exist. And then this person asked, him to explain how he was selected. Um, Important question for the FAQ. Also, in my opinion, it was pretty fast, especially if you are not connected to the old team. And he said that the short of it is, I saw a distressed server with a lot of promise. I reached out with a proposal on how to get it back and on track. And after some discussion, I was appointed. You can see that this is like three fucking sus emojis for now. Like this is another reason why this entire thing is incredibly fucking suspicious. Here's another instance of him not fucking answering the question. So this guy asked if the only reason he was brought on so quickly is basically to try and roadblock the old mods' plans to start their own server. And then instead of answering that, he says that this is the dominant PoE community and there's no reason to start all over. This doesn't answer the fucking question. This just completely ignores the question. Oh, apparently Jim fucking resigned. Someone asked how come, and then he just never explained why. So yeah, I mean that's all he's got in here, and I don't really. This video is already fucking 40 minutes long, and I don't care to continue it. Um, but yeah, so long story short, this entire thing is incredibly fucking suspicious, and I do not trust this new fucking person that they've brought on. Uh, I don't. It's the speed at which he was brought on is suspicious. Um, what he is doing is suspicious. The fact that there are no server rules is suspicious. Um, he doesn't get tell us anything about himself, uh, and there is no evidence to prove or disprove anything that he claims or that Jinimbu claims, because Jinimbu fucking deleted everything. So yeah,